Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Witch is Viral, number 3. Can you believe it? Very exciting. So today I have Carrie back with us. She was on our first podcast episode. Carrie is the owner of Pure Lotus Wellness Retreat. She's also been a huge mentor to me on my spiritual journey. She's a phenomenal human being, fellow Cancer woman. So I like her just based on that alone. And yeah, you wear many hats. We talked about that before. Psychic medium, dog mom, cat mom, lovely wife. I don't know.
I'd like to
What
think so.
else?
I don't
Am
know.
I missing anything? Energy healer, trauma informed coach. Like, is there anything you don't do?
I don't know.
Like,
Dance.
oh, is that something you would ever consider doing?
Only if I've had enough drinks.
Okay, cool. We'll have to do that over the holiday season.
Okay, perfect.
We'll toast to some of these episodes.
Yeah.
So today, Carrie and I have decided to keep it very casual because there is so much going on this time of year. I'm already feeling the stress. I also, energetically speaking, I know Carrie and I have kind of touched base over the last few weeks, but energetically speaking, what the hell has been going on? It's been crazy. And we just had a full moon as well, full moon in Gemini. And what season are we in now? Like, are we going to be all right for the next few weeks?
Well, we're in Sagittarius now, Sagittarius season. So, I think so. I think the heaviness of the energy isn't necessarily astrological as much as it is collective, right? There's a
Okay.
lot going on in the world right now, that it's impacting everyone around the world, and I think that's more of the heaviness that you and I are picking up on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a craziness of astrological. We just did the full moon in Gemini, and I don't know about you, but Cancer women tend to
Oh,
not
yes.
get along too well with that sign. So, um,
Yes.
we
Fair enough.
yes.
Yeah. Gemini
Yeah,
sign.
so it's just
That's funny. My dog is a Gemini, but that makes sense because she's a lot sometimes. I love her like crazy. Don't get me wrong, but
hey,
I've
we all
learned a lot.
love our Geminis, but they all drive us crazy.
Yeah. See, now I can think of a few different Geminis. Actually, no, she might be a Taurus, but my Oma was a Gemini, I believe, or I could just be making all of this up. That's also possible. I'm gonna have to go back and see who are Geminis in my life for sure.
Mm.
I know it's funny how that works. Like I definitely, uh, for example, I've dated quite a bit online, and we're gonna kind of get into that tonight. I should check the time because we could be sitting here till midnight otherwise talking about
Yeah,
whatever
this
the
could turn into
hell.
like a whole therapy session for
This
you.
could turn into exactly, and maybe we will do that style moving forward.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
right? Hey, why not? Right? We can kind of do that, and yeah, I'd be open. So speaking of that, it's funny over the years, and I'm pushing to 40 at this point, and never been married, no children, and I'm totally fine with that. Unfortunately, I have, unfortunately or fortunately, probably I've dated a few guys over the years that have well, certainly been narcissistic assholes, been emotionally unavailable. And the other thing, going back to the astrological stuff, is that I cannot, and I'm sorry in advance, people, not that you're all lining up to date me, I'm sure, but I can't date Aries men. I can't date Aries men. It
Guess what
just
my
doesn't
husband
work.
is?
Well, I won't be dating your husband. So, oh, you're is
Yeah,
he?
Cancer
Okay.
woman with an
So,
Aries man.
okay. So this is a fun little loop because I didn't realize that. So Aries is April area, and it's a very fiery sign. And anytime
Yeah.
that I have dated an Aries, it has gone to shit real
Well,
quickly.
Aries is ruled by the planet of Mars, right? And
Wow.
Mars was the god of war.
Yeah.
So it spreads the end of March going into April, absolutely. And there is a difference between March and April Aries, but yes, I can vouch that they are quite fiery.
Yes. And you've been
The
together.
cancers are quite snappy, so we can,
We have our moments.
yeah.
I I feel like cancers can be very, ooh, like I try very hard not to come off passive aggressive
Mhm.
because I feel like sometimes I need time to process stuff. So when things happen, I can't just have a conversation. I need time to like retreat into my shell, just
Mhm.
like cancer, right, with the crab, and take my time. But I think sometimes that comes off as kind of like giving the silent treatment or being passive aggressive or being whatever. And I never
Yeah.
mean for it to be that way. It kind of, maybe it comes off that way. That
Yeah.
being said, I've also dating uh, a couple of long-term narcissistic men, and one in particular that, and I'm sure as this podcast goes on, we'll delve into this even further because tonight we're not doing like a coaching session or anything. But I've dated a lot of explosive men, and the other part of that too is like the two in particular I can think of. One truly in particular is a Leo. So I can't date that sign either. So we've got the Aries, we have Leo. I can't do Libras anymore. Sorry. They're too flighty.
I think we should work on your checklist for your men. Because sooner or later you're probably going to have every single one of those astrological signs checked off. Probably, maybe, who
Yeah.
knows? There's only
I
12
think
of
I
them.
still have Aquarius, possibly.
Okay, well that's another
So if
water
there's any
sign.
Aquarius, I shouldn't say that actually. I don't want any DMs. Speaking of, okay, this is not a DM, but I was telling you before we started recording that one of the dumbest things happened to me today. I want to give you an idea of what the hell the cesspool of dating is these days. I swear nobody knows how to properly have a conversation. There is a lot of ghosting. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at any of this stuff by any means. And you know I'm not, because you know me well, Carrie. I do my best to be respectful, etc., etc. So I am currently on a dating site. And so I started messaging with a potential match. Literally, we get like 2 messages in. So one of the prompts on this dating site is to ask me about causes that are important to me. So that's like, so for me to ask, right? So I go, okay, hey, how are you? I said, so what causes are important to you? He replies back, you know what? He's great. How are you doing? He said, what causes? Oh, honestly, I love to have sex with a beautiful woman. And you are beautiful. I can't even read half of this, to be honest. It's probably gonna get me canceled. No. And so he's just talking about how important that is. And I'm like, I was gonna tell him I like to volunteer at the fucking animal shelter. Like, are you kidding me? Like, at least buy me dinner before you start talking like that? And I've had worse. What's worse are like dick pics in the DMs and Instagram. I don't know. I won't make you comment on that, but yeah. But
Yeah,
it's that
so
kind of
it's
thing.
been a very long time since I have been dating. My husband and I have been together for 10 years. And to be honest, we met online. And he's not one of those type of people, thankfully. So they are on there if you keep searching. Or
Well,
maybe I just found like a weird one of a kind person. I don't know. But yeah, so that's where you ghost them, I guess. There's no point in even responding.
I blocked. Like, the thing too is right now is it's cuffing season. I don't know if you have heard of cuffing season before.
You has have mentioned it,
Yeah.
and I thought I would just not Google what that is, and you could explain it to me
Let
on
me tell
here.
you, cuffing season is essentially, because it's getting colder and darker and people are getting lonelier, and and well, there's a few things I'd like to say out loud right now, but I'm going to keep myself in check. Basically, it's when people start to get desperate to find somebody for cuffing season. Cuffing season has to do with like that comfy, cozy, wintry, I don't know why, it's just called cuffing season. So like
Uh,
finding that person. to like be cozy with and kind of hibernate with over the next few months. So all these desperate people come out of the woodwork, right? And start saying stupid shit like that. And it's like, I don't need somebody to cuddle. I have a dog and I can pay my fucking heating bill. So don't come at me with your desperate ass.
Well, why don't you respond in such a way that perhaps they should purchase a Snuggie and a dildo and stick it up their ass,
Well,
and
I
then they
was
would be
saying that.
satisfied.
Well, and I mean, that was my plan too all winter. No,
You had to wait till I was taking a sip, eh?
of course I did. Is that vodka? No,
Not yet.
like a couple hours. No,
No.
but point being is that it's really difficult. Like I'm truly trying to find my life partner, and I know that yeah, and I have been now for off and on for it's been a few years. I feel like I've done a lot of inner work, etc., etc., and that's probably a whole other podcast. And I've really focused on trying to attract the right people. But I swear, like I attract people, and it's like they invisibly have on their forehead, like emotionally unavailable. I don't attract narcissists anymore. Don't come at me with that anymore because I can see a red flag from a mile away. So that I'm very proud of. That took a while to
You no
understand.
longer see the carnival, you see the red flags.
I see the red flags. Like the last person I was with about, I've obviously dated since, but about 5 years ago, I was in my last relationship, and he was truly a malignant, narcissistic asshole. And then I took some time to heal, and that's also when I met you, Carrie. And now I'm like, fuck, what the hell? COVID didn't help things either.
No, it definitely wouldn't
No,
have. Even people who were together, COVID for some couples didn't help whatsoever.
no,
So
no, that's true. That's a very good point too. So when you met Doug online 10 years ago, did you deal with this kind of stuff as well? Like even 10 years ago with
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I'd have to say that I don't think I took it just very seriously. I had gotten out of a very bad narcissistic relationship as well, emotionally abusive and mentally abusive. I think we tend to, for the most part, a lot of us go through those things. Unfortunately, those are just the harder lessons that we have to learn.
yeah,
But yeah,
sometimes
I
more
had
than
about a
once,
what?
sometimes more than once too.
Yeah, absolutely. Until we figure out those red flags, right? And then I didn't take things too seriously, dated off and on, went out for, a couple of free dinners, free coffees, free drinks, whatever. Just enjoyed life, didn't take it too seriously. And to be honest with you, I was to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just kind of like over this whole thing. Went to uninstall the one app that I was using, and all of a sudden this guy's profile came up as I turned the app on, and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute, he's a good looking guy. And yeah, that's when I met Doug.
And
It's like
history was
the moment that I was about to uninstall the app. So
that's amazing. And that's what they say too. And just giving people hope because I know I see a lot of clients that are like, when am I going to meet my person? When am I going to find, my partner, my life partner, this and that? And I'm one of those people as well. And it is really hard to not feel like you kind of give up hope after a while. I have found too that once I let it go and kind of do a little bit less
yeah.
control and like I always say more flow, less force with the situations. I always try to remind myself of that to just kind of let things kind of flow. But I feel like, yeah, it's I don't know, it's hard.
Now, to
It's
be
hard.
honest with you, yeah, so like Doug was in a different city. I was in
Oh,
Kingston at the time and he was in Ottawa. And I don't know if, yeah, just kind of popped up. So I don't know, you might have to look outside of
well, I am
our
going to a cruise
area.
in February.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, why not? I'll meet a hot, sexy Man in
Just
Aruba.
remember when you stop looking for something, that's when it usually starts to show up.
Yeah, that is true. I do find that it's just, I think that because it's such a, in this time of year too, and I just wanted to chat before we wrap up here a little bit about how lonely this time of year actually can be. I already, okay, I like being alone. Even though you might not know this about me, I am an introvert in a lot of ways. I enjoy my own company. I enjoy being alone. I'm okay to, date and whatever and not have somebody living with me, etc. But a lot of people have trouble with that. And it can get lonely and it can have its moments. But it's hard sometimes. You go into stores and there's couples and there's Hallmark Hallmark movies I watch regardless. No one's ever taking Hallmark away from me. but that's my thing.
But like I swear, like Doug must
Christmas
be a
movies.
Cancer woman too, because he likes his Hallmark movies.
Your husband does?
Yeah,
We need to let's we have a Hallmark marathon.
Not with me around.
Oh. Well, that would be awkward otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I
so
even bought him a wine glass one time that says I like wine and Hallmark Christmas movies.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Mine'd have to say like I like whiskey and Hallmark Christmas movies. Just in case you're looking to buy me something for Christmas. I'm just kidding. But I'm just kidding. So yeah, I do think that going back, like I said, this is informal tonight, which is fun, but it's hard. And I know it's hard for a lot of people that I have that come in for my readings to spend this kind of season alone.
Yeah.
So just, you know,
I
if you
think
are,
like I don't know.
oh, go ahead.
I think it's important to find, even though we want that romantic connection. I was just teaching a class over the weekend, and part of the end of it, we were talking about manifestation and how with manifestation, we can put out there what we want, but then we have to be patient. And that can be very, very hard, especially when we want something so much. And, I took the example of trying to find that partner that, fits with you. I don't want to say the perfect partner because there is no such thing.
There's no perfect.
And what happens is that when you put out into the universe what it is that you want to manifest, the universe is like, okay, all right, let me work on this. And then it's like a Rubik's Cube, right? So they have to start, moving the pieces and putting them into the correct order. And, even though we might be ready for that relationship to start, that, person that fits us, maybe they're going through some things too that needs to get them to a level to where they fit correctly with you, right? So
Yeah,
like as an example, like I got out of my relationship with my ex, but when we look back on the events of how my husband and I met, he was still in a relationship.
right.
Right. So, if I had met him when he was still in a relationship, obviously that wouldn't have worked out.
Well, I
Right.
hope he wouldn't be online if he was still in a
I
relationship.
hope not. Um, I hope not, because
There's a
you know
lot
what
of
our
that
cancer,
too.
there
There's a
is a
lot of
lot of
that.
that.
Oh
There
my,
is.
it's so bad for that. And it's not just men, it's everybody. I
Yeah.
know. It's bad. Don't like, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, and it's just
So,
like to show that like my energy had to wait for when his energy was ready.
so for those people coming into the holiday season that are feeling possibly depressed, lonely, and maybe not looking forward to the whole, Christmas and shopping and all the cute, cozy things, including the Hallmark movies. Although who can't look forward to those except for you? And my neighbor's not into them. I asked her to come over for a Hallmark movie.
I watched
Like,
the
oh,
Christmas Vacation movie and Elf, and that's probably
I'll
about it.
watch those too.
Okay.
But so for somebody in that situation, like I know for myself, this coming Christmas will be my third or fourth Christmas alone. And I mean alone. But it's not because I don't have somewhere to go. My
Right.
parents always invite me, but they're 8 hours away.
So
I don't feel like
I think you should, once again, I think you should just watch how you're talking to yourself. Here's the counseling session. So you're
okay,
not
so
going to be alone though. Like when you say you're alone, alone, I'm like alone, but you're not alone. You're going to be with people that
well, there
care
would be a
about
lot
you.
of dead people in my house. Is that
Uh,
what you
no, but I'm just saying around the Christmas
mean?
season. Jesus Christ. He might
Oh,
be
no,
there too, actually. You could
what does
call
that
on
mean?
good old JC.
Jesus
No, but
Christ.
like you may not be with your partner yet, but you're still going to be with people who love you. But at
I
the
am.
same time, if you know what? What?
I am.
Yes.
Okay, so point being is that just for our listeners, what can people do instead of, being sad and kind of, feeling lonely and all of those things? What can people do to kind of start to manifest those relationships and those things in their life? We talked about manifestation. So you had mentioned working on yourself. You had just also talked about talking to yourself differently. Like what puts you into kind of a higher vibration to attract these things? So that kind of thing.
I think it's about, well, my gosh, if you're thinking about manifesting a relationship and a healthy relationship, I think it has to be one, what you're doing, your red flags. You've kind of been through those certain lessons. It doesn't mean that you won't come up against those people, but you know right away that that's not going to work out. It's also about your boundaries and loving yourself, right? So, like, actually, before I met my husband, I wrote a very long list about this shit that I was not going to take anymore, and about the core values and characteristics of the person that I would want to spend a good portion of my life with, right? And it doesn't mean that they have to meet all of those qualities, but I think that they should, you know, meet some of those core values, right? So it's
So,
and then once again, like if you are going to be spending the holidays, not with a partner, or even sometimes you don't have
and
family
so
and sometimes you don't have
exactly.
friends.
Sometimes people are completely alone. I've had a lot of clients that literally are alone. I don't feel so bad about my situation because I have people that invite me. It's different when you're not actually invited or you don't have family, you don't have
Yeah.
any. So I'm thinking more in that aspect because it can get very lonely and it can get very depressing.
You know what? I think that's probably a really hard question to answer, because we're all individuals and different things make us happy and different things make us fulfilled. I think it's important to find out what makes us happy, and try to do those. For me, like if I had to spend Christmas by myself, now say that I'm not a Christmas person, and that has nothing to do with
But I feel
religion
like
or anything.
Christmas throws up over everything already, everywhere. It's so
Oh,
like,
I used to work at Home Sense. Christmas came in September and it just pisses me right off.
yes.
Anyways, you find glitter in your bra and glitter in your eyeballs and just
Is
shit
that at Home
everywhere.
Sense or is that, never mind.
No, it's Home Sense. Thank you. I'm not a glittery type of person, even in that kind of environment.
Well, that's good to know.
Um, but like I think that it's just important to figure out what makes us happy. And if I was by myself for Christmas, the one thing that I've always wanted to do, and to be honest with you, I've never this is boo-hoo is me. The one thing I've always wanted to do for Christmas and I've never been able to do because I'm sharing that time with friends and family, is I've always wanted to volunteer at a homeless shelter.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Right. And
Yeah,
if that's
give back.
something where, yeah, if you can bring happiness to other people through volunteering and helping to serve others at that moment, I think it. And there's a fucking Hallmark movie for you. There's that little spark in your heart that gets you all
Yeah.
teary eyed,
As soon as you say
right?
Hallmark, I get excited.
Okay, well, calm down. Um,
I think I did
so
that in a past life, was in Hallmark movies or something.
yeah, I could see that actually about you.
Right? Fun.
Um, but I'm not going to, bullshit anybody and say I have the answer for that. I think that if you feel sad during the Christmas season, I say feel the emotion. It's okay to feel sad. and but try to figure out what makes you happy as well, and see where we can, you can fit that in.
Yeah, and know too that, when I first moved to Ottawa, I um again, I thought that was alcohol. I joined some social groups and things like
Water.
that. It doesn't look like water.
It has that squirt Mio stuff in
Oh,
it.
okay. I'm like, Carrie, like that looks like you need to get your fucking tap checked.
I can see
Um,
that.
so yeah, so there are things like that. Like you said earlier, you're never truly alone. And if you are feeling
Yeah.
alone, there's certainly like resources and different, and this is one possibly good thing about social media is there's a lot of community groups. There's a lot of
Mhm.
groups for for men and women and whoever to join, and like-minded people, that kind of thing, to get together. So just know you're never truly alone. But also it's kind of nice to just sit there on Christmas Day and do fuck all. Enjoy it. Enjoy your alone time if that's what you're
And like
doing.
I do, like for me, Christmas is a very stressful time of year. It's never been a happy time of year for me. So, is it difficult for me to explain to someone why they should be happy at Christmas time? And I get it, right? I
Yeah,
get it that for most people, it's a happy time of year. If I could, I would sleep right through it
I
and just
totally
miss the whole
agree.
goddamn thing.
I agree.
So
I was thinking about that today. I'm like, maybe next year I'll do the Caribbean or something.
there you go. Perfect.
Under
Yeah.
the palm
The
tree.
best Christmas I ever had was Doug and I had a belated honeymoon. We went to Disneyland actually.
Oh, see, that's
And
awesome.
Christmas morning I woke up poolside with a
Hungover.
Santa. Well, no. However, before 11 a.m., I was drinking a massive pina colada at the pool,
And
and we had dinner at medieval times. And I'd have to say that was like the best Christmas that I've ever had. So,
that's awesome. See? And
yeah,
it's simple, other than you had to fly to
yeah.
Florida, but still,
I find it very stressful trying to fit in everything. And you
it
know what?
is.
This is what I'm gonna say. I find it very stressful trying to make everybody else happy.
Yes. And also, I think as much as people show you how happy and excited they are, I think a lot of people aren't. And collectively speaking, too, there's a lot of financial issues right now, too, and having that societal pressure, especially
Yeah.
I don't have kids, but like having to buy all these things for your children and everybody else and being on
Yeah.
over here, and it's just fucking stressful. So yeah.
It's very stressful. The economy is not good right now. My husband, he has a rent to Doug business, and I always joke because
Yeah,
like you're gonna have
plug
to
it.
start renting yourself on the street corner and start affording more.
You should offer to watch Hallmark movies with lonely people. Boom.
That might be a little bit brilliant, Nina.
Not bad, eh? Not bad.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And it's a surcharge if he has to bring over the snacks.
There you go.
Um but I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about.
I don't either, but that's okay
What
because
was
I
this?
think we're pretty close to out of time anyways. We've just gone on a big rant, which I loved every second of.
We
So
can talk about something else. You keep trying to like cut these things off after 20 minutes.
I know. Well, what else are we gonna talk about?
I don't know.
We talked about cuffing season. Oh,
See, and
and
I
no
keep
matter
thinking you say cupping, and I'm like, this is just a
like
whole other thing
titty
in my
cupping.
mind.
Oh, or
Well,
cuffing.
no, like cupping.
That's one way to get a woman. Boop boop.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah, no. So, and no matter how lonely or sad you may feel during this holiday season, don't fucking fall for the cuffing season bullshit.
No.
Do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Put on a Hallmark movie. Call Rent a
Buy
Dog.
yourself a Snuggie
And
and a
snacks.
vibrator, and you're good to go.
Or that works too. Why not,
Yeah.
right?
You know who's going to love this podcast, right?
Doug?
I was going to say Virginia.
Oh, is she gonna watch it?
Oh, well, we'll send it to her.
Virginia Baum's daughter. Woo!
Yeah, well, shout out to Virginia.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's gonna come on this podcast as well.
Is she?
Maybe.
Oh,
I hope so. That's the plan.
there you
And I
go.
plan to have you on, well, regularly, like we've been kind of doing, because it's nice to chat with you. I can't chat with some of my guests the way I can chat with you because we're friends and I'm comfortable with you and I think you're awesome. Not that the
There you
other
go.
people
I think you're awesome.
you think I'm awesome?
Completely just diss those other people.
Yeah, fuck them. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She
No.
apologizes, Julie, because that's been your only other guest.
Yeah, I know. But I'm talking about, so there's a few other people obviously coming up in the new year. And I really like them, but I can't do this with them. Not, well, maybe I could. Maybe I'll just do it.
You
They'll
should
be
do
like,
one
I'm
with a
not,
dead person.
do one with a dead person.
Yeah.
I still think we should do shit face with spirit some night.
So then there'd have to be vodka in this water.
There is vodka in that water.
You should let the people who comment on this podcast ask if they want that one.
Shit face with spirit.
Yeah.
Do we probably shouldn't be too shit faced because you don't know what'll come in. Probably. That's like a New Year's thing.
Anything.
We also have talked about doing a live in the new year as well.
Yes. Yes, live with questions. Live with Nina.
And Carrie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we were talking about doing live readings, right? Not
Yeah,
just you two.
yeah, okay.
So a few things coming in the new year that'll be good for sure. I'm gonna wrap this shit up.
Okay.
Because we've been chatting for a bit here, and it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks.
This Witch is Viral. Did you want to plug your socials?
Yes, websites for Pure Lotus Wellness Retreat is pure-lotus.ca. My personal site is carrie-leigh.ca, and you can find us on Facebook and you can find us on Instagram, also TikTok, but I really haven't done too much on there. I just watch stupid videos.
The TikTok.
Although I did post Tucker playing with the Christmas pickle.
Oh,
That's cute. Want to find that one and look at it.
that sounds cute.
Tucker's a cat, by the way, everybody.
Oh yeah, that sounded really weird for a second. I was like, pardon. You can check out This Witch is Viral on YouTube. The link is on my Instagram account, which is This Witch is Viral. I also have another account, The Nina DeBoss. You can find me on Facebook as well under Nina DeBoss. And my website is kind of sort of under construction. It's www.ninadeboss.com. That's pretty much it. I am looking to stream this podcast on further platforms in the new year. So I'm excited about that. So I'm looking at Spotify, Apple, and a few other things. So hoping to do that for sure. And in the meantime, YouTube, baby, thanks so much for checking us out. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, stay fearless. And now I have to find the record button and look cute doing it. Okay, seriously. Why is this always a thing? Let's see here. Okay.
You're like those boomers that just never hang up.
Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. I know, it's ridiculous. End. Wait. It's okay. This is becoming a thing now. People have actually reached out and been like, gotta love that record button. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm that person.
Like when someone says goodbye, but then they start another subject again.
That's me. Okay, I'm ending the recording. Thanks, everybody.